Sprayon delivers reliable, innovative solutions for the most demanding industrial and MRO applications. Our focus has always been the development of products and programs that help you preserve and protect your valuable equipment to prevent costly breakdowns and downtime, helping you to become more efficient, more productive, and more profitable. For years, the food processing industry was limited in their choice of lubricants. An NSF H1 rating meant sacrificing protection and lubricant life. At Sprayon, we thought there had to be a way to provide today's food processors with the performance that they needed without sacrificing the food grade certification that was absolutely crucial. And we think we've done that with our NSF H1-Rated high-performance food-grade lubricants. The equipment and machinery used in food processing facilities faces many of the same lubrication challenges found in other non-food processing plants, sometimes even more demanding. Lubricants must protect against and control friction, wear, corrosion, heat, and deposits. They must also offer good oxidation stability, hydrolytic stability, and thermal stability in certain applications. Additionally, the food and drug manufacturing facilities demand that lubricants resist degradation and impaired performance when in contact with food products, certain process chemicals, water including steam, and bacteria. Unfortunately, many of the raw materials used to formulate lubricants that effectively address these challenges in conventional industrial applications are not permissible with food. Currently, in the US, as well as in other countries, the National Sanitation Foundation manages a voluntary registration program for products used in the processing and pre-processing stages of food production. The NSF guidelines are based on former USDA requirements and categorize lubricant types in food-grade applications based on the likelihood they will contact food using the original food-grade designations developed by the USDA, H1, H2, and H3. Simply speaking, H1 lubricants can be used in food processing environments where there is some possibility of incidental food contact. H2 lubricants can be used on equipment and machine parts in location where there is no possibility that the lubricant or lubricated surface contacts food. And H3 lubricants, also known as soluble or edible oil, are used to clean and prevent rust on hooks, trolleys, and similar equipment. For years, lubricants with an NSF H1 rating were typically petroleum-based or had a mineral oil-based stock. These base stocks have been around for a long time and function very well in most applications. Unfortunately, mineral oils have limitations in a number of performance characteristics which are extremely important in today's food processing facilities. Let's take a look at a few and see how Sprayon has addressed each of these limitations with our food-grade lubricants program. To skip to a specific section now, you can click on one of these videos. Let's start with operational temperature range. Mineral oils, in general, can be used over a temperature range of -31 degrees Fahrenheit to 347 degrees Fahrenheit intermittently, and -17.6 degrees Fahrenheit to 230 degrees Fahrenheit continuously. So if you need a lubricant to work in conditions outside of that range, a mineral oil-based lubricant would not provide the best performance. The Sprayon H1 food-grade offering features 10 lubricants rated at less than 14 degrees Fahrenheit continuously, including the LU-214 low-temperature food-grade lubricant, which is rated at -78 degrees Fahrenheit. And, with the exception of our belt dressing, the entire line is rated higher than 280 degrees Fahrenheit continuously, including the LU-213 high-temperature food-grade lubricant, which is rated at 635 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's take a look at water washout. We all know that water or steam is ever present in today's food processing facilities. Of course, we also know that lubricants and water don't really play nicely with one another. Moisture can wash out lubricants, cause emulsions of greases and oils, create rust and corrosion, as well as increase the deterioration of lubricants. So the ability of a grease to resist washout under conditions where water may splash directly on the bearing is an important property in maintaining a good lubricating film. The ASTM test for water washout uses a specific ball bearing, which is packed with 4 grams of the test grease and then rotated 600 times per minute for 1 hour, while a jet of water at 100 degrees and 175 degrees Fahrenheit is sprayed on the bearing housing. At the end of this time, the bearing is removed, dried, and the percent weight of the grease lost is determined. The Sprayon NSF H1 food-grade lubricants offering features 3 different products which are extremely resistant to water washout, with a percentage loss of less than 5, including the LU-207 food-grade synthetic grease, which only lost 2%. So what about greases? Grease may have been the word back in the 50s, but in today's food processing environment, greases are extremely important because their high viscosity generally means that A, they can withstand higher temperatures without melting or running off. B, they are more water resistant. And C, they are better at sticking to vertical surfaces. Greases are really just lubricating oils that have a thickening agent like aluminum complex added to the formulation. Unfortunately, making these lubricants thicker is also what limits how the grease can be applied. Generally speaking, the thicker the grease, the more difficult it will be to spray or pump into specific areas where it's needed. Just imagine trying to spray peanut butter under a tight spot in the conveyor. The consistency of a grease is defined as the degree to which it resists deformation under the application force and temperature. It takes into account the plasticity and viscosity of the grease. The ASTM test for consistency features a specific cone that is allowed to sink for 5 seconds under its own weight into a sample of grease held at 25 degrees Celsius. The depth that the cone penetrates into the grease is expressed in tenths of a millimeter and reported as the penetration of the grease. Since the cone will sink further into soft greases, they will have higher penetrations. On the basis of the ASTM test, the National Lubricating and Grease Institute has standardized a numerical scale for classifying the consistency of greases. The consistency numbers start at 000 to 00 to 0, and then from 1 to 6. The higher the number, the higher the consistency. Typically, both the ASTM cone penetration measurement and the NLGI number are reported. The Sprayon NSF H1 food-grade lubricants offering features 2 products with an NLGI rating of 2. Remember that peanut butter consistency? Not only do these greases provide all the performance characteristics associated with an NLGI 2 grease, but you also get the application flexibility that only an aerosol can provide. How about load carrying capacity? It's not difficult to imagine the extreme load pressures that certain food processing machinery and equipment are subject to. And to keep it all running, today's food processor needs a lubricant that can carry the load. One of the ASTM tests for a lubricant's load carrying capacity is called the Felix run-up test. The test consists of running a rotating steel pin at 290 RPM, driven by a 1/3 horsepower motor against 2 stationary V-blocks that are immersed in 60 milliliters of the lubricant being tested. A continuously increasing load, starting at 300 pounds of force, is applied continuously to the V-blocks through the use of a ratchet mechanism, until the lubricant can no longer support the applied load. At that point, the pin will either break or seize to the V-blocks. Generally speaking, a lubricant that exhibits 1,500 pounds of force is considered to provide sufficient protection against gear wear and scuffing under heavily loaded conditions. The Sprayon food-grade lubricant offering features 3 products with over 3,000 pounds of force, including the LU-205 food-grade chain lubricant and LU-213 food-grade high-temperature lubricant, which are both rated at 3,750 pounds of force. With this extreme pressure capacity, you can be sure that Sprayon will protect your most burdened equipment from breakdowns and downtime. When we set out to develop this NSF H1-Rated food-grade lubricant line, we wanted to make sure that we provide today's food processor with the performance advantages that have been so sorely missing from the space. and we did the testing to make sure we delivered. Beyond the features we just reviewed, the line features products with extremely high dielectric strengths, up to 47,500 volts, FDA Title 21 approved formulations, kosher approved formulations, rapidly biodegradable formulations, formulations with PTFE to reduce friction wear and energy consumptions of machinery, and aerosol dispensers with a wide coverage area. To learn more about the entire line of NSF H1 high-performance food-grade lubricants, the Sprayon 5S visual management system, and our full line of high-performance industrial chemicals and lubricants, please visit us at sprayon.com. Thanks for watching. Please also check out these other Sprayon videos.